Hey everybody, this is Kyle Hollern with the KW Alliance Group, back today for another amazing agent conversation. And today I have Sadaf Alhooie with us here from the KW Loudoun Gateway office. Sadaf, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we are here in our Ashburn location with Sadaf because this is your neighborhood, right?
This is my hometown.
Awesome.
Yes, definitely.
So how long have you lived here? How long have you been in Ashburn and Loudoun County?
I moved from Arlington back in 91 when no one even knew about Ashburn, and I raised my family here.
Yeah.
And then I used to do an accountant. I used to be an accountant, and years later I decided to become a realtor.
Awesome.
Because that's where my passion was. I always was interested in new homes and any model homes and all that. So I started real estate.
Gotcha.
That was a big change.
Now,
for
what
me.
year was that? When did you actually get started in the business?
I started real estate back in 2006.
Okay.
And of course, I was with another brokerage for 3 years.
Okay. Yep.
And I finally decided that Keller Williams is where I belong. Of course, it was because of the technology, training, and also the teamwork.
Right.
I call it the 3 T's that Keller Williams have.
I like that.
Definitely.
Let's go back. Let's go back for a second. So those
Okay.
first couple years in the business, what do you remember? Like, what were some of the biggest lessons that you can remember about the first few years? Because
Yes.
2006, 2009
It was a hectic year.
was a pretty
Definitely.
hectic year.
Definitely.
And interesting, we shared that a little bit because I got in the business in 2009.
Okay.
And I remember someone saying to me, like, hey, if you can work through this market, right, and learn this business, when things
Definitely.
turn around, it's really gonna improve for you. So did you find the same thing? Talk about this first few years in the business.
Right. I felt like the first few years was like kind of a good learning step for me because you always learn doing it the hard way.
Right. Yep.
And that was the time when we had short sales, foreclosures, and of course I was new.
Yes.
So it was rather exciting, and I was overwhelmed with
Right.
it because I was new to the business. But then I started doing what I love,
Right.
and I started building the trust with my clients. And that's how one client became two clients became three.
Right.
And I remember the first year I started, I wanted to be part of a team. And Jim Sonhalter, my team leader, stopped me from doing that. And I'm glad he did.
Yeah.
Because I built a reputation for myself.
Right. Yep.
And of course, I've been doing it over and over again. And
Right.
every year have been a better year for me.
Well, good. Talk to us about your team. I mean, you have a small team, right? You primarily work by yourself.
Yes.
But talk about who works with you, who helps you run this business.
Sure. So I've been a realtor for 18 years, altogether 15 of it with Keller Williams.
Yep.
And 8 years ago, my daughter used to be working with George Mason Mortgage, and I asked her to join me,
Right.
become a realtor and join me.
Nice.
And so she's been doing the work behind the scene.
Good.
And I've always been upfront.
How's that working with your daughter? Is that
We still love
fun?
each other.
You still
We
love each other, right?
We have not hated each other.
That's good.
So
Yeah.
she's doing great, and she is my backbone of my business.
That's got to make you
definitely.
proud to see your
Yes.
daughter working in the business that you've helped create,
Definitely.
right?
Of course.
Yeah.
So, and of course, I hate to say, but some of my clients love my daughter more than they love
Yeah,
me.
well, that's
because
what's
she's
supposed
a
to
nice
happen, right?
person.
Yeah.
I'm always the hard one.
That's great.
So definitely, it's been a good years, 8 years together.
That's great. We're going to go back to real estate. Tell me about where were you born? Where did you grow up?
I'm originally from Iran.
Gotcha. Yep.
I moved to Canada when I was 14, and
Okay.
16 years when I was 16, moved to United States.
Gotcha.
I have my educations in accounting and finance, a bachelor's in accounting, master's in finance.
Very good.
So that's what I did for the last 15 years after I graduated.
Right.
And then I switched to real estate.
Very
So it's been, challenging
Yeah.
to switch job and, of course, being in a different country, but
Sure.
I made it through.
Right. So, I mean, you came to Canada. Would you learn English when you got to Canada? Was that something you learned back in Iran, or?
It was when I was in Iran, I was in a public school.
Okay.
So I didn't learn as much English.
Right.
But when I came to Canada, I was forced to learn English and some of French.
Right.
So
Yeah.
and then, of course, I speak Farsi fluently.
Yep.
So some of my clients are from Iran, which
I was going to ask
helps a
that. So
lot.
does that open up some different markets to you? Obviously,
Definitely.
speaking multiple languages. Talk
Right.
about that.
Sure. So, I'm also part of the network for top Iranian realtors.
Okay. Yeah.
So that also helps because some of people from Iran like to do business
Sure.
when they don't speak English with the people that speak their language.
Sure.
So
Yeah, yeah.
it puts them at ease, and
Sure.
it definitely has helped me a great deal.
Is there some networking that goes on either within KW or within the realtor community around that community?
It's within the realtors community.
Yeah.
So, it's, of course, It's not part of Keller
Sure.
Williams.
Agents from all
but
different companies, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have to say that 98% of my business is solely based on referrals.
Gotcha.
So from my past clients, current clients, and also colleagues across the country.
Yep.
And that's one of the beauty of Keller Williams. Us agents, we work together.
Right. So you do primarily referral business.
Yes.
Do you work with both listings and buyers? Are you heavy in one direction or the other?
I'm half and half.
Okay. Yep.
So half of it is listing, half of it is buyers.
Yep.
And, I do a lot of rentals, of course,
Gotcha.
too.
Yep.
And that's how actually I started real estate.
Interesting. So let's talk about that. Why?
So when I started real estate, of course, I didn't know much about doing business.
Right.
So anytime an agent in our office said, I have a rental client who wants it, I offered to help. And I went above and beyond even for that rental client.
Right.
And those renters became buyers. Those renters referred people. And that's primarily how I built my business
Right.
at the beginning.
That's smart, right? A lot of people want to just hand those off, right?
I
Or they want to
know,
look for
not
that buyer or
many
that sale.
agents want
But
to work with
yeah, I
rentals.
used to say to people though, if you have your pipeline, right? A lot of times those
Yes.
renters, when their lease is going to be over, and within
And that's-
12 months or 10 months from now, we can start a home search.
And that's me. That's what I did.
Perfect.
I followed up with them all
Yep.
throughout the time.
Yep.
And, they became buyers.
I used to do the same thing. I used to have this thing on my wall, and it had months of the year, and I'd have the
Yes.
next couple years laid out. And as I was working with renters, same
Yes.
thing, right? If their lease was up next June, I would put them down for April of next year to be a potential buyer for me.
Because once you earn their trust, for me, when I did this business, my first decision was to be honest,
Yep.
to
Yep.
be upfront with my clients.
Right.
And once I earned their trust, they got to know me, I
Yep.
got to know them. Business was easy
Right.
to come to me.
You
So-
also, I've seen online, you do some great client events, right? I've seen you
Yes,
do a different, what'd you do, an ice cream
Oh my
social or
God,
something
I
just
did
a few weeks ago?
Yes,
Yeah.
at Willowsford, I did ice cream social, and
Yep.
that was very, very productive.
Mm-hmm.
We had about 350 ice cream served.
Holy moly.
I know, so that was good.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to be sponsoring the PTA for one of the elementary schools in my area.
Very nice.
So that also I serve ice cream to them.
Right.
Which, teachers, I think they deserve everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe in helping them. So this would be a good thing.
One of the things I've noticed about you, Sadaf, is you're very passionate about Ashburn, right? Like your local community.
Yes.
Why is that? Why do you love Ashburn so much? Why do you love this area? Why do you live here? Why do you sell it? What is it about this community that you enjoy?
Well, I moved to Ashburn back in '91,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, I raised my family here. Great schools, and also, I just love the family type neighborhoods here.
Yep.
So I moved to Ashburn Village first, where it was the very first community started here. And then, of course, I have been, involved with so many things in Ashburn. And I love Ashburn, and I know Ashburn. So I always say, live, love, Loudon. So definitely live, love, Loudon
Yep.
is my motto. And I just love the type of community this is.
It is such a beautiful part of the state. It's
Exactly.
obviously gone through explosive growth here the last few
Right,
years. And
yes.
But to your point, I mean, it's amazing to sit out here in Ashburn. You can see the mountains out to the west, right?
Of course,
You have everything that you
definitely.
need. They have the metro, right? It's starting to run out this way. And so now you're
Definitely.
starting to get some opportunities to be able to get back to Washington, D.C. It is a great place to live.
And most of the people know me now by now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So because my kids went to school here, so I've been in touch with them.
Right.
And all the neighbors know
Yep.
me, so it's where I feel comfortable.
Nice.
It's where I feel like home.
Cool.
Definitely.
So recently you got approached by a TV production company, right?
Yes.
About shooting like some local content about the neighborhood. What's that
Yes.
called? Tell us about it.
So about beginning of the year,
Mm-hmm.
I saw one of the other Keller Williams agents in San Diego that posted something about American Dream TV, and
Yes.
she's hosting it. So I wrote an email to the CEO of the company, asking him if he needs someone in Northern Virginia, DMV area.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, I started with them, and I've had 2 episodes so far, and 1 coming next week.
Great.
It's all about the community and bringing out what's best in the area, Ashburn in particular, and the small businesses.
Nice.
I would like to promote small businesses, which this show helps me do that.
Yep.
And also tell everybody about what activities are in this area.
Now, where if someone wanted to watch maybe a couple of those episodes, or by the time this is released, where would people watch that?
Mostly it's on Fox 5 and Amazon.
Okay.
So it's every other month.
Got it.
and that's where it's showing.
That's pretty cool.
And it's cool.
I was really excited the day you called me and told me about it, and I could feel the excitement,
I know.
through the phone.
It was, I think it's fun because it gets me out of real estate a little and give me a little fun
Yep.
part too. So
Sure.
I've been enjoying it very much. So
Nice.
definitely it's good. So again, I have been very happy with real estate, and I would never look back at what I did in the past.
That's good.
I've been very successful in this business, and 18 years later, here I am, top 1% realtors in the area.
What are some of the activities that you want to do on a daily basis, right? To get to that point, to really enjoy it. What are some of the things that you focus on a daily basis? How do you, run this business?
Yes. So with this market, we are back to basics. I remember when I first started, we used to be in touch with our clients.
Right.
We used to, just talk to them every so often,
Right.
find out what they are doing. And of course, social media have helped a lot too.
Yep.
So I've been in touch with my clients.
Good.
I've been, thinking about them I remember their birthdays. I remember when their closing date was.
Right.
So I always stay in touch with them.
Right. Good.
So
So
that's
you're organized, right? And touching your database, your sphere of influence is the most important thing.
That's
you do
the
on a daily
most
basis.
important thing, I think.
Yep.
Because all throughout my life, I never, ever liked cold calling.
Right.
Never did that.
Yep.
And it's not me.
For sure.
It's
Everyone-
just, not everybody is made for that.
Yep.
I also do, if I get the chance, open houses.
Yep.
And that also, opens up the doors for me. So those
There's
are the tools.
always really two main activities we talk about all the time, right? On a daily basis, you need to make sure you're doing all of your lead generation
Right.
and all your lead follow-up.
Of course.
Right? And if those two things get done every single day, the rest of your day, you set yourself up for success.
Exactly. The calls keep coming.
Right. Yeah, that's good. What are some accomplishments? I know you're very accomplished. You've gotten different awards, recognitions.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you're most proud of?
So what I'm proud of is that I've become this year, I would be becoming the lifelong member of NVAR.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For those who don't know, NVAR is our local association, right? The Northern Virginia Association of Realtors.
Right. And also, I'm proud to be serving as the agent on the agent leadership committee for our office.
Yep.
That's really my pride
Yep.
that I have been part of it.
Right.
And then also, I have been the top 1% realtors in Loudoun County. Part of being ADTV,
Right.
and part of being the luxury agents
There
for
you go.
Keller Williams.
Yes.
So definitely that is a plus.
Right. So you hit your threshold there. You sold enough luxury property, right, to
So
qualify as a
every
KW
year-
luxury agent. Yep. And every year you have to requalify, right?
Definitely.
Yes.
Every year you have to sell so many numbers
Yep.
at certain dollar amounts. And of course, this area is the highest.
Sure. It is. It is based on market.
It's like,
Yep.
definitely, it's the highest price point. So, but I've been so happy that, I was elected to be part of it. And that also opens doors for me.
Congratulations.
To be in touch with luxury agents.
Yep.
And of course, learn from them.
Right. So we're about halfway through 2023, right? A little
Yes.
bit over at this point, obviously.
I know, yes.
What are some things you're looking to finish out the year strong? What are some things that would make you feel like this was a great year for you in the real estate business?
Yes. In spite of everybody saying the market is not good, there's not much inventory, sale prices are up higher, of course.
Yes.
But the number of contracts are lower. However, half of the year, at the end of June, I had done as much as I did last year.
Great.
So I'm looking to double that up.
Good.
And definitely, it's all by touching with people.
Sure.
And
I think it's a great opportunity to do that. I was looking at some numbers the other day, and last year, if you remember, the interest rates went up there in May, right?
Yes.
And so the second half of our year was a little bit up in the air,
Shaky,
right?
yes.
Buyers and sellers weren't really sure based on the inflation, right? Some of the things that were going on in the economy, where the market was going.
Right.
What I think is interesting is a lot of our agents have really caught up here in June and July.
Right.
And if we continue to do that activity,
Yes.
since last year was a little bit slower, the second half of the year, we should be able to have better years this year than we did
Right.
last year.
And June and July usually is the best month
Yep.
because the renters, their lease is up June and July.
Sure. Yep.
And that's when they start thinking of
Oh,
buying.
interesting. Yeah. So going back to your rental
So,
strategy,
exactly.
that's when a lot of
So-
your clients become available.
So that's when I started touching with them like 3-4 months ago.
Yeah.
Because they're ready to buy.
Smart.
And that's the best time
Yep.
to just persuade them
Yep.
to buy a home.
Very nice.
I always tell them, don't wait to buy a home.
Right.
Buy a home and wait.
Right.
Because in Loudoun County, prices are improving every time. You
Right.
build the equity,
Yep.
even though the interest is high.
Sure.
You know?
I saw something the other day. It said, buy when the rate is high, sell when the rate is low.
Exactly.
Right? It gives you
No,
more
that's true.
more inventory,
More
more buyers potentially on the other side as well.
That's
So people
true.
shouldn't be scared away from making a smart investment.
No, definitely.
As long as you're
And
cautious.
I have good number of buyers.
Yep.
Only if we can find inventory,
Sure.
but definitely they are there.
Right.
Buyers, there's nothing to discourage buyers from
Right.
buying.
Yep.
Even with that high interest rate. So
Right.
it's definitely have helped a lot with my business. And again, that's who I am after, the renters.
That's good.
That I've had.
So listen, we work hard every single day. I know you wake up and you
Yes.
work hard for your clients on a daily basis.
Definitely.
What are some passions that you have outside of real estate? What are some things that you enjoy doing outside of the business, just to learn a little bit more about you?
Well, I like traveling.
Oh, good.
So in the past, I also worked for United Airlines,
Okay.
right here at Dallas Airport.
Very nice.
And I love traveling and exploring the world. So that's one thing that every time I find a minute
Right.
to go, I
You're gonna
can go.
Good.
Definitely.
Is there
because-
anything that stands out? Like, what's one of your favorite spots you've been to in the world? Is there anything that is at top of mind?
Well, I liked Copenhagen.
Oh, very nice.
That was my favorite part, of the countries that
Yeah.
I've visited. Of course, I've been to Japan, I've been to Denmark,
Yep.
Sweden, Italy. So it's just good to explore the world
It is.
and get to know people.
Yeah.
And that's part of this business also, real estate.
Sure.
If you can connect with people
Yep.
from other countries,
Sure.
with other cultures, you're doing good.
Yeah, I have friends all over the world now that
Yes.
are, that I've met through
Yes.
Keller Williams or met through real estate.
Of course.
And I've actually traveled overseas before, and they've
Yes.
welcomed me into their home, and they've, guided us around their local city. And
It's definitely the way to do it,
Yep. Yep.
And I wish I knew Spanish, but I don't. But I have clients that are Spanish. They actually bring their kids to translate.
to translate, yeah, for you. Yeah. Well, whatever has to happen.
But they're happy to work with me.
I had a client one time who spoke, I think, Mandarin Chinese.
Yes.
And I was living down in Norfolk at the time, and we actually went and found an ODU professor who spoke the language and
See?
was able to translate for
Oh
us.
my
So,
God.
when you're a business person and you have goals, you'll find ways to make it work.
They
Or
will.
we have agents maybe within our network that can step in and help you out
Exactly.
as well.
We have so many agents here that
Right.
speak that language, for sure.
It's just interesting. Our group, we've been having a lot of conversations. I think in my career, I probably have said, life worth living, business worth owning, maybe
Of
1,000
course.
times, right? That's like one of the big
Right. It's
taglines
one
of
of-
KW.
That's
but
true.
Like, it's great to see this year. I find more people are really thinking about that, and how does that apply to their life, right?
Definitely, it's good to know. And of course, me being from a different country,
Yep.
I'm open to all
Sure.
different
You
cultures,
probably have
and
a
I
complete
love
different
to
perspective.
learn.
Yeah.
I love to learn about them, and that really has helped me a lot.
That's awesome.
So
So we talked a little bit about KW, right?
Yes.
The Alliance Group is made up of 6 different offices, here in Virginia, 5 in Northern Virginia, 1 in Richmond.
Yes.
Why do you enjoy being part of the KW Alliance Group?
what I like is the networking
Mm-hmm.
and the agents that support each other.
Right.
I mean, in all honesty, I was with another brokerage for 3 years
Yep.
and never felt this way.
Right.
The minute I started with Keller Williams, everyone was offering their help.
Good.
Everyone took the time to train me, to teach me, and to motivate me.
Right.
So that is what I like about Keller Williams.
I always find the more people in your corner, the better in this business, right?
I mean, and also doing business. We all work with each other at some point.
Right.
And anytime I see a Keller Williams agent, they're so helpful.
Right.
They're so responsive.
Yep.
That's what I like about Keller Williams.
good.
And we all get to know each other at trainings that we have here.
Right.
We all gather around each other and we all learn from each other. So
Yep.
that's the beauty of it.
Well, good.
So not everybody is good at one thing.
Sure.
But every agent that is good at one, they would train others.
That's it.
So that's the beauty of Keller Williams, for sure.
Well, good. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course.
There's
Thank
going
you
to be
for
people
having
on
me.
here that would love to learn a little bit more about you, maybe even
Yes.
connect with you.
Yes.
Social media channels, how do people get in touch with you? What's the best way?
So Instagram would be the best way to reach me.
Okay.
And of course, I'm on Facebook too. I
Sure.
have business page for Facebook.
Yep.
So
What's your Instagram handle?
at Realtor Sadaf.
Okay,
is
so at Realtor Sadaf.
Realtor Sadaf.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
And
So-
then Facebook, of course, business page is Aloha Homes.
Yep,
I picked Aloha Homes because I used to live in Hawaii.
very nice.
And that's why I picked it. It's a happy name.
It is.
So, but my Facebook is Aloha Homes.
Very good.
And I would love to connect with anyone. And I'm here to help in
Very-
Ashburn, Virginia.
Very good. Well, I really enjoyed the conversation,
Thank
learning
you.
more about it.
Thank you,
and
Kyle,
learning
for-
more about you and your business and your family.
I
So
appreciate
congratulations on such a great year so far.
Thank you so
And
much for
here's
having
to-
me.
Here's to a successful rest of
Another-
2023.
Exactly. We are looking forward to it.
Very good.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.
Yes, thank you.